Dun, 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 dun. Hey guys, what's up? So, I'm still out and far away from my regular setup, so I've kind of made a makeshift one out of duct tape and a few other pieces of equipment, and I've got my pencils here, and I decided let's go and review something today, and specifically I wanted to review Aquaman and Jabberjaw, which is really, really good. I loved it. It's one of their, like, Hana Barbera things. They're doing a second lineup. I've heard that Flash and Speed Bucket was really good. Some people said the Hong Kong Phooey one was really good. But this is the one I picked up along with the Super Sons of Blue Falcon Dynamite special. I'll be getting into a review on that later as well. It's really good. But right now I decided that we were going to go and do Aquaman and Jabberjaw. So let's get right down into it. And if you're new to the channel, we review things a little bit differently here. I don't just like talk about the book and flip through it. We draw. Alrighty. And now that that's out of the way, let's begin. So it starts off like very cute. Like it has, as you can see from when I was starting off this whole entire video, it has a lot of Jaws references throughout this whole entire series. It's got a really great little, like, just tons of comedy. So if you've seen the Jaws movie and everything else, you'll love it. So it starts off just like Jaws, where there's this girl and she's like, I'm gonna go and skinny dip, but because this is a comic book, we can't really show off nudity, so I'm just gonna run around in my underwear and swim. I don't know why, but she does that. And she decides she's gonna go and do swimming in there, and suddenly she actually makes a reference to, why does it suddenly sound like cellos are playing in E minor and everything, and then suddenly she sees a shark in the water, and then something speaks to her that freaks her out, and then we immediately cut to present day. And it's revealed that the area in particular where this is happening is actually Aquaman's hometown. And Aquaman was called up by an old friend of his who is a police officer in the town, and she's explaining to him that there's a rogue shark just on the prowl in the area, and it's causing a lot of problems, and they're wondering if he can just get rid of it without a lot of trouble or issue. And he's like, yeah, I can go and like look into it. So he starts asking a lot of questions about it, which was very cool to me, because he's asking like, look, sharks don't normally come around here. There has to be something going on, like, is its feeding grounds, like, destroyed? Was there earthquakes? Was there an oil spill or something? Because this doesn't happen. And I like that, because that means that there's been some research. I used to research a little bit into sharks, and this is actually something that is big, that, yeah, the number one thing, if any of you do not know, sharks do not normally eat people. They actually hate the taste of human flesh. They think it's disgusting. They'll actually only bite a person because they usually, like, it's mostly surfers because they look like seals. So they'll take a bite out of you, think you're gross, and then just spit, and then not go after you again. Most of the time, people just bleed to death out in the water, you know, because you have a giant gaping hole in you. So really, sharks don't normally go after people because they think we taste disgusting. So yeah, so it was kind of nice to see that somebody, at least the writer, took some research. Unlike other series, I'm looking at you, Dr. Strange. Oh yeah, he can't be a doctor anymore, so he has to be a veterinarian, because that's like the weakest thing ever. Like, dude, don't you get it? Veterinarians make more money than regular doctors. Do your research, everybody. I don't care if you work in comic books. You at least have to sit down and you have to do your research. Like, Christ. Ugh. Oh my gosh, I cursed. That's terrible. Man, this picture sucks. Let's go again. Alright. So, yeah, so anyway, so they're sitting down at a diner, and they're just talking about everything they know about this shark attack. And it's like anything that could figure it out. And Erica, who is the police officer, she's warning Aquaman. It's like, look, I don't want to, like, I want you to get this done as soon as possible, because there's an issue that the neighboring town has a bunch of, like, fishermen, and they're going to come in and they're going to try and kill it. because there's like a bounty and everything. And there's more Jaws references happen and everything, but it's just warning them as well, like, look, they're going to cause a lot of problems if they show up. So we'd like you to take this down as soon as possible. And then this is a picture I am going to show. It was so funny. I know this is going to sound weird, guys, but this was one of the funniest parts, was when they're just sitting at the diner, just talking about, I wonder where the shark is, and then this stupid thing happens. I don't know why, but that's just funny. Like, they're just talking like, I wonder where the shark is, and then it just, like, floats across, like, just floats, like, it's just floating away. And so, yeah, that's the shark. That's the shark that everybody's freaking out about. And Aquaman's like, oh, look, I found it. I better go and get rid of it for you. And everybody's freaking out, like, because, yeah, this shark is just flying and just being whatever. And so Aquaman goes after it. It goes into, like, a grocery store. And then once again, we get another Jaws reference. And it turns out it's just buying groceries. It just wants to get groceries. And Aquaman tries to use his, like, telepathy on it. And it doesn't fully seem to work, and it gets a little bit upset and offended and starts talking to Aquaman. It's like, what's going on? And everything's like, hey, why are you being so mean to me? I get no respect. Yeah. So pretty much, yeah, it's Jabberjaw. And he does introduce himself a few minutes later as Jabberjaw. And it turns out that Jabberjaw states that he is from another, like, they find out he's from another timeline that's way into the future. And he's from under the sea, like, he's under the sea. Well, he's from another place called Aqualand, and he is a drummer. And he's wondering how he got here, but also he learns that the guy Arthur is Aquaman, and he freaks out, and he says, dude, you're Aquaman. I used to watch a cartoon as a kid. And kind of thing like that. And he goes, what? And he's like, yeah, Aqualand, like, you helped make Aqualand because everybody was so into your cartoon and everything. It's like, I have a cartoon, what are you talking about, man? So, but they go and deal with this problem because they go back to the ocean and they notice that there's these, like, crazy killer sharks. And Jabberjaw goes with Aquaman because, you know, he's like a big fanboy apparently of Aquaman. So Aquaman's like, yeah, you can come along. And they figure out that all these sharks are coming through a portal, and the portal winds up back to where Jabberjaw's timeline is. And it winds up, they wind up in Sea Lab. Sea Lab, guys. Sea Lab 2020. I'm sorry, I just thought that was so cool. Like, I was like, Sea Lab 2020! Yeah, I guess, for anybody that never saw Sea Lab 2021, Sea Lab 2020 was I think a discontinued Hana Barbera cartoon that never saw light of day because it was so boring. But it was about, like, a bunch of people that, lived in an underwater facility. And it became, apparently Cartoon Network found the old footage and made a show called Sea Lab 2021, which was like a comedic version. And there's been references of that show throughout other stuff. The creators of Archer, I think, worked on it. So there's been heavy references in Archer of Sea Lab 2020. So everything is just phenomenal. So I love that little mention of Sea Lab 2020. And Jabberjaw actually explains that the Sea Lab, it's discontinued, it's like a ghost town in that area, but he explains to Aquaman, this is the lab that made all the sharks and other fish, like marine life, sorry, sharks are not fish, the marine life, like sentient, like he is, that facility was how Jabberjaw got super smart and everything, and he can talk. So, and, like, he starts explaining, like, the history of Sealand, and they go there and so forth, and, he explains that Sealand was a place made by, kind of like Sea Lab to have a united kind of society with land and sea creatures, except, in current year, sea creatures are kind of second class there. It's going south really fast, and he's really disappointed in that. But except him and the Neptunes, which is his band, are trying to still kind of showcase a uniting force of the whole entire, like, sea and land people and all this other stuff, you know, just cute stuff. So, and they meet up with his crew, And they're like, well, they're like, and he's trying to explain to them all, it's like, dude, it's Aquaman, you know, from the cartoon and everything. He's got superpowers and stuff, and he came from a magic portal. And they're all like, what, Jabber, what the heck? And we gotta go and get ready for, like, a band, to, like, for our next gig and stuff. And but they agree to help Aquaman and stuff, and they go on this, like, adventure, and they start talking about how society is in their life and so forth, that it's still, like, even if this place was made with the best of intentions to help save, like, peace between land and sea creatures, it's still not working out, so forth. Even these kids and Jabberjaw are, like, a very small group that they're, like, worried that it's just gonna go and die out. And Aquaman says, like, he understands that feeling, because he's having issues even in his own timeline where people and sea animals don't seem to get along, and they're always fighting and everything. It's like, I wish we could all just live in peace and harmony. And of course, their little monologue of sadness and whatever, and, you know, friendship, blah, 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 gets interrupted by a giant mechanical shark that eats them. And crazy stuff ensues, and they find themselves meeting up. You wanna what? Let's go show it. Let's go and show it for a few minutes. The whole entire thing. We get to meet the new... I wish I could show it faster. Stupid hands. Yeah, we got the new Ocean Master is apparently part of this. It's like, I'm the new Ocean Master, blah, blah, blah. He's like, I'm the Ocean Master. And of course, Arthur's like, no, you're not the Ocean Master. He's like, yeah, I'm the Ocean Master. He's like, no, you're not the Ocean Master. I know the Ocean Master. He goes, no, I patent it. I'm the Ocean Master. And he's like, whatever, who cares? Why are you being an idiot and, like, why are you here and everything? And it's revealed, like, yeah, he's the one that's been sending out the sharks to go and attack people and, like, sending them through the past. And it turns out he wants to destroy any chance of Sea Lab 2020 from ever coming into existence, and of course, meaning that sea land will never exist, so there won't be a harmony between land and sea creatures. And so, yeah, he's like, you know, there's no other reason. He's just like, I hate everything that it stands for. I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, I'm just a jerk, because I'm a jerk. And you're like, whatever. I wish there was a little bit more of reasoning, but yeah, I guess, whatever. I mean, like, they only have so much to do in one comic, so I'll let it slide, So they get into a fight, and Aquaman beats them up, beats up everybody, but Ocean Master lets his, like, cronies get taken care of by Aquaman, he runs, and so they go after Ocean Master and find out that he's using the old Sea Lab tech. He's using the old Sea Lab tech to anger all the sea life and then send them through time, but he's not alone. Apparently, he is actually working with Atlanteans. He's working with the King of Atlantis, who's this weird guy right there. Yeah, his name is Mr. Dorsal, and he's a jerk. Everybody doesn't like him either. So it turns out that, the guy, like, I guess it's, so it's kind of revealed that two racist factions that are super racist, I guess, against, like, these guys are like, I really hate land people, so let's go destroy the community that kind of, like, makes people want to work together with the sea people, and the land people, the racist land people are like, I hate the sea people, so let's work together to destroy the sea, the sea land, whatever it's called, to ensure that the sea people and the land people never work together. Yeah, you get the drift. So it's just two racist people that are working together even though they hate each other. Oh, what a great commodity. So, pretty much, they're being jerks, and Aquaman's like, you're all idiots, and everything, and he gets into a fight with, King Dorsal, and King Dorsal is, like, yelling at him and everything. It seems like they're gonna lose because, obviously, Jabberjaw's team is not able to really fight. They're just band people. I guess Jabberjaw could help it, you know, he's just kind of like a wuss, so he can't really help that much. So it's really up to Aquaman, and he can't defend everybody and so forth. And Aquaman starts talking to Dorsal, and Dorsal's all like, yeah, I'm gonna go and scare off everybody in the past, so this'll never happen. And he goes, well, I don't think you get it, Dorsal, because this, Aquaman has discovered he's not sending things back in time. He's not sending the sharks back in time. He's sending them to alternate universes. He's like, listen, you're not sending them to the past of your universe. You're sending them to the past in my universe. It's totally different. You're not going to change the past. You're just going to freak out my timeline in my world. And Dorsal's like, I don't believe you because I don't believe science and everything. He's like one of those guys. And so pretty much Aquaman's like, you know what? Screw it. I'm Aquaman. And he pretty much uses a lot of his aqua telepathy to summon all the fish and the whales and everybody who's just sick and tired of all these losers, and he's like, go kick their butts and stuff, and like they like everybody, like all the fish and stuff. And I think this is really cool. Like, check that out. I like that, the nice little sound effect thing and the whirling, really nice. And you could see the sound effect. That's, I think somebody was talking about, I think it was Mim was talking about, he was actually reviewing a comic about music, and he said there's no sound effects. And that's when I started like enamoring myself into sound effects like this. And you know, his telepathy is like a sonar, and they do a great job of showing it. Like, it goes small and then it grows big, like a ripple. It's really well done. And yeah, and you can see all the sea animals, and they just come in and they bash the place up. And they apprehend all the bad guys, and the police come and they arrest both sides. And Aquaman is just kind of sad. He's like, man, it sucks that nobody seems to work together and everything. Like, it just seems like even in my time, like even in the future, in this timeline, in this universe, they're still having the same problems that I am having. And Jabberjaw actually says something really smart. He's like, well, if you kind of think about it, today was showing that sea life and land life can work together. Like, look at you and my friends and me, we all helped stop those bad guys. And not only that, and he points this out, which was kind of cool, he's like, look, they were two sides, the land and the sea, like the Atlanteans and the land people were working together to destroy Sealand. And like, that's kind of ironic, isn't it? Like, they work together, and it kind of showcases that, yeah, there can still be unity between us in a weird way. And I was like, that actually is really smart, and I like that. I like that a lot. That was a good way to show the story. So yeah, like, Jabberjaw has his moment of being really nice and sentimental and so forth, and Arthur thanks him, and they decide they're gonna go and do a band. They're gonna play their concert, and Jabber wants Aquaman to stay. He's like asking, it's like, come on, you can make a new cartoon and so forth, and like, come on, like, it'll be great, because then you can unite the people again. And he goes, no, this isn't really my timeline or my universe. I'm just a cartoon in this one, but here, and like he gives them, like, he took a little bit of the C-Lab tech, and he managed to, I think, steal some music from his timeline or something like that. And he goes, yeah, and you can use this to make some new music that may interest the kids here in this world. So they use it to help learn to make new songs that will unite everybody, and it seems to be working. Everybody's super happy, and there's like a guy, like, I think there's a guy with a lighter, and I don't think you can see it, but there's like a guy with a lighter right there. I don't know why, like, under the sea. I don't know why, but that's just weird to me. Oh, there's a guy with a lighter. He's right there. And of course, once again, you see like the sonar thing. So I guess that they use some aqua telepathy. I don't know, but I like the sound effects. You know, they go under this person and then they kind of flow out. It's a nice way of effects. So yeah, so Aquaman goes back to his timeline and so forth, and he goes back out. And he says, yeah, I took care of the fish, the problem. I took care of the shark. He's gone. And of course, the fishermen come that Erica was warning about, that were like, we're gonna go and cause problems because we're kind of jerks and we're drunk all the time. It's like, where's the shark? And he's like, I took care of it. I talked to it. It's like, you didn't kill it? He goes, no, I talked to it. And they just get really mad, and they just kind of like wander off. They go, see, I told you, he's like a sucky superhero who wants to deal with a superhero that talks to fish. And he says that Jabberjaw line, which is I don't get no respect. which actually, he's the one that says it through this whole entire thing. He actually says it a few other times, like, Jabberjaw does show him his, they find an old poster of his TV show, and he looks at it, and, like, Aquaman looks at it, he goes, "Oh, even here I don't get any respect." Like, he's like, "I get no respect." Like, I thought that was kind of funny, because it's so fitting of Aquaman in current years, because they write him, they like to write that it's like, yeah, like, everybody seems to think he's a joke, but really Aquaman isn't a joke, and that's what they like to show in this. So, I have mad respect. It was a good little comic, and I think everybody should go check it out. Oh, and there was a mini afterwards about Captain Caveman. And I know a lot of people were talking about these, like the little mini shorts in the back of these Hana Barbera cartoons started becoming very, very propaganda-like and more like a pamphlet than a comic, like telling you, you're wrong if you support this and this. And yeah, there was a little bit of Captain Caveman. In Captain Caveman, it's who is this? The Avenging Spirit and the Wizard Shazam are talking about helping another person, and like they give like they're debating and so forth about like humanity kind of sucks. Like that's what the Avenging Spirit is like, and Shazam's like, no, they're really good people. And he goes, listen, humans, I mean, like the only reason Billy Batson works is because his era had plenty of time to work and like figure out how to socialize and everything. I mean, look at Black Adam, your first problem. Like he turned out to be such a problem and a terrible person that's like blowing stuff up. And Shazam's like, look, I can get another person and I'll prove you wrong that humanity is really good. And he goes, okay, let's pick a certain timeline. And Shazam says, I'll do you one better. Let's go back to the Neanderthal ages kind of thing. And I'll pick a guy there. And they're like, oh, okay. I mean, if you wanna have a handicap. And I like this kind of thing. I actually like how they designed the Wizard Shazam in this. I thought it looked pretty cool. But oh, and so they picked Captain Caveman, and that's how he looks like right now. I have to say it's a really nice little design that they gave him and everything. So he has still that super long hair. If you've never saw Captain Caveman, he looks kind of like Cousin It from the Addams Family. Kind of because he has this super long hair that just flows down. I mean, I used to watch it on Boomerang when I was a kid. So yeah, so they rescue him, and they bring him into the present day, and they give him and Shazam gives him a better mind, so he's able to understand human speech a bit better in today's era, and of course, be able to communicate and live a life here. And the first thing he does is he sees a boy about to get run over by a car, and he rescues the kid. And the kid's aunt thanks him, and I guess her friend or her girlfriend, it's her friend, I guess, and so forth. And it's kind of shown that Captain Caveman has a crush on her, kind of thing. And I'm not a big fan of the artwork. I'm not I find the artwork not to my liking, but I bet a lot of people would enjoy it. So yeah, he's interested in everything, and they're just kind of like learning about his society is very much different. He's learning about everybody. And of course we have our iconic SJW moment where like we see him talking about Nazis and beating them up and everything, but that was about it. That was it. Like it was one panel and he's like fighting a sea monster, and then he's like baking a cake. And so yeah, it's just him learning to be in present day and help out people. And then the Wizard Shazam and the Spirit are like, yeah, I mean, humans are pretty cool, you know? Yeah. And that was about it. I like that. I really like this. I do suggest Jabberjaw was a really good read. I thought it was cute. So yeah, and here's our little Jabberjaw. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, give me a like. Let me know what you want to see in the future. I'm always willing to take requests. Until then, I'll see you later.